Come on in here. Come on in, everybody. Come on in. It is Thursday, February the 19th. Come on in here to Celebrity Court of Public Opinion. Everybody, come on in. So good to see familiar faces. So, Algorators, before we get into today's episode, I really want to say something that I feel like is bigger than celebrity. It's bigger than headlines. And honestly, it's bigger than me in this platform. You want to know what that is? It's Black History Month. And for me, this is a big deal. And in America, it's not just a cute calendar moment. It's not just 1 month. It's not just a hashtag. And it's not a special feature we do when we feel like it. We all must remember that Black History Month exists because for generations, the truth about our contributions were erased, minimized, and flat out stolen by many. And if we didn't preserve it ourselves, nobody was coming to rescue us. In 1926, historian Carter G. Woodson launched what was then called Negro History Week because he understood something deep. A people who don't control their story can what? Be controlled. And that's why I'm speaking up today, because we are living in a moment where powerful people, including one of the most powerful people in this country, are working overtime to rewrite as well as control our story again. So let's be clear. I don't care if your platform has 10 million followers or 10 faithful supporters. If you have a microphone, if you have an Instagram account, you have a responsibility right now. And if you have a stage, and even if it's a small one, you have a duty. As you know, I'm a Black creative. I'm also a professor. I'm an entertainer. And for me, silence can no longer be neutral. Silence is interpreted by many, if it is, as surrendering. Now, I know some people are tired. You're tired of debating our humanity. You're tired of watching the same old disrespect get remixed and repackaged like it's politics. Tired of feeling like the country would clap our culture only when we're playing or we're singing on a big stage or something like that. But then they close the door on our rights, and that's what's happening. But I'm telling you right now, don't give up. Don't get numb, and don't let your exhaustion make you forget who and where you come from. Because Black history is not just about the past. We got to stop saying that. Black history is a survival manual. It's a blueprint that shows us how to keep standing when the system is trying to redesign it so that we would have to kneel. So thank you. Thank you to everyone who watches, everyone who shares, everyone who comments, everyone who supports. Even if it's quietly, I really appreciate it. You remind me that impact is not measured by size, but in fact, it's measured by purpose. So as long as I have a voice, Black history will not be an afterthought on this channel. I want everybody to know, because Black history is American history, and we will not let anyone edit us out of the story. All right. Understood? Drop a heart down into that chat if you're with me on that thought. All right, let's check and see who's joined us tonight. Sandra McGee, thank you so much for coming tonight. Lathea Robinson Smith, always good to see your name. Nisha Phillips, wouldn't be the same without you. Brenda K, come on in here, Brenda K. Charlene Lambert, love to see it. Caramel 1977, that's my heart. Thank you for joining. SL Warrior, come on in here with those opinions. JP Mills, yes, love to see it. Essie Stone, yes. New York Marie, love it when I see your name. Christine R, the show wouldn't be a show without you. Editor, I'm getting it, Editor. I told you it takes me a while, but I'm going to remember. Sharonia, this is me. Thank you for coming. Tanya McNeil, come on in here. Dominic Starr, the emojis, always love it. Danielle Cameron, where have you been? I've been missing you. Don't think I forgot. Thank God you finally made it. I'm glad you're back. I love when you join us. Good Tar Diva, come on in here. High Maintenance, welcome back. Who else we got? Esther Stone, Val Rice, come on in here. Queens, everybody, welcome to Celebrity Court. Tonight's title of the episode is Mansions, $1 Million Goodbyes, Receipts and Discovery, and No Bond Blood Evidence. Please don't forget, I need everybody, please don't forget that we are having new days. It's on Mondays and Thursdays now. Instead of Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're on Mondays and Thursdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. All right. Tonight on Celebrity Court of Public Opinion, I'm not here to be polite anymore. We got some ugly cases and it's about to get ugly. It is about to get petty too. But guess what? The law is also petty. The law cares more about paperwork the way the internet cares about drama in some cases. Tonight we have 4 headlines. We have 4 legal lanes, and every one of them is a warning label. All right. First up, we have Kimora Simmons is reportedly fighting to stay in a $25 million Beverly Hills home, allegedly tied to money. Yeah, allegedly tied to money her estranged husband testified was stolen from 1MDB. And baby, if the money is tainted, that dream home comes with a crime exhibit with a pool. Next up, we have Jessica Alba and Cash Warren. They finally finalized their divorce. And guess what? That man is walking away with multi-million-dollar payout, which means somebody is paying for peace. And I want to know who paid who and who had to stop talking. After that, we're going to talk about Dacoda Jones. Dacoda Jones has filed a $1 million civil lawsuit against Rashee Rice, allegedly for physical abuse. And this is where he say, she say turns into subpoenas, screenshots, medical records, and depositions that make people sweat through their designer hoodies. And last but not least, this is so sad. A former NFL player, Darron is arrested for allegedly killing his girlfriend, and he's denied bond after testimony described that there was blood evidence throughout the entire home. And guess what? That's not a verdict, but it's the court saying, we're not risking you walking away while we figure this out. Now, remember, this is not criminal court. This is a court of public opinion. And in here, I bring the facts. My attorneys bring the law. And you, the viewers, you are the jury. So you decide who's guilty and who's not guilty. All right. So to start us out, let me bring the legal beagles on. We have Sean Carter, Shatan Turner, and Jason Weiss. Counselors, welcome back to Celebrity Court.
Happy to be here, Your Honor.
All right. Let's get it started. Quick reminder, everyone is presumed innocent. We're discussing allegations, charges, and civil claims. We are not issuing real verdicts. All right. First, starting up. All right. We have Kimora Simmons' first case. This is not real estate, T. This is money laundering adjacent stress. Yep, you heard me correctly. Money laundering has allowed her to purchase or live in a $25 million Beverly Hills home. Now, the allegations is that the property was purchased with the funds her estranged husband testified were stolen from 1MDB. Now, let's be clear. The public hears stolen money and instantly wants to repossess the chandelier. But court doesn't run on vibes. It runs on traceable documents. So, algorithms, for you who are sitting in the jury box, you have to know this. We have to know the difference between tainted funds and legal literacy. That's asset forfeiture versus tainted funds, innocent owners versus good faith defense, and constructive trust, which I can't wait to hear the legal beagles explain to us what that is. All right, first up, let's go to you, Sean Carter. Sean Carter, traceability 101. How does the court actually trace money to a house? Is it done through wires, escrows, LLCs? How do they know that? How can they prove that the money that he used was to purchase that house and not other stuff that they had?
Yeah, and that's a very difficult thing. Tracing the money is like tracing a single drop in the ocean, right? Who knows where that came from, etc. I do know, and the important thing to know is that some of y'all need to take lessons from Sister Kimora, because she keep finding rich men. Every man is richer than the next. All right, Russell Simmons. She done had this guy who stole all the money. I think she was at some point married to Mansa Musa. I mean, this woman knows how to find where the money is. And in this case, though, what they're going to do is they're going to do something, an accounting term that's called lowest intermediate balance rule. And they basically go through every transaction in row, try to figure out who sent money to where, etc. in the end of the day, it's going to be very difficult, which is why she still has that house now, because they can't really figure out where it all went from, and the fact that somebody else claims to own it.
Okay, now Shatan, let's go to you, because she's taking the defense that she didn't know that was, illegal money. So innocent owner defense, what facts help her in this to maintain and to be in a house that was purchased with laundered money that was stolen? Can she just say, oh, I didn't know, and she gets to stay in this $25 million mansion?
Apparently she can, because she's still there. I think that we just need to pause for a moment and give Kimora Lee her props, like Sean Carter said. She stays with keeping a rich man. She gets rid of them. She keeps their money. And in this case, he's even said, hey, I stole money. And she's like, nothing to see here. Don't be worried about that. This is my house and I live here. Wasn't that a song a long time ago?
All right, Jason, explain this to me. If a court believes the assets is tainted, what tools show up? Do they get a restraining order? What do they do to get her out of there? Do they do a forced sale? Do they give her an opportunity to buy it correctly? How does this happen? Or does she just have to get out of that house because it was tainted money?
So it could be any of those things, right? There's not a set answer. She can get out. If she doesn't want to get out, they can forcefully remove her. If she wants to buy it, she can buy it. She can, go ahead and negotiate a deal. And one of the things that you mentioned at the top of this segment was the court can actually do what's called a constructive trust. And that means that she is just holding it for the benefit of the actual owner. So she has no ownership. They're treating her as if she is a trustee of that, but she has no ownership, no right to it, and the court or the actual owner of it can just go ahead and throw her out. And they could do it by eviction, they could do it by ejectment, and there are various different methods. But when it's the government that wants something that they say is theirs, they're going to get it.
All right, SL Warrior said, it's my house and I live here. SL Warrior said, it's Donna Ross, Shatan. JP Mills says, Kimora knows how to use her front wisely. Beverly says, Kimora is smart. I believe that she'll figure out a way to stay there. You're right. She always got something going on, and that's a friend of mine. Brenda K says, that pretty face got a lot of ugly behind it. Ooh. Essa Stone says, prayers to you, Nisha. What happened to Nisha? I guess I missed it. And Jenna Lee says, hey to all the counselors, but to my favorite, hey, Attorney Turner. Oh, all right, here we go. We got a super chat starting the night off right.
Whoa.
Thank you, Cameron. Thank you so much for that super chat. I really appreciate it. She says, Kimora uses her Tootsie Cat the right way. We could all take notes so we don't have to call Tyrone.
That's right, Danielle. I've got my notepad.
Look, you can call me. You ain't got to call Tyrone for $20. Let me tell you. All right, counselors. Tell us really quickly then, based on what we've heard so far, how strong of a case does the state have in kicking Kimora to the curb right there in Beverly Hills? Sean Carter, 1 to 10. What we got?
Yeah, before she had to worry about the feds coming to get that house, the Rubin brothers say they own the house. And the bottom line is, my prediction is the next season of her show, Back in the Fab Lane, is going to be called Back at My Mama's House. They changed those gate codes.
Who owns the house, Sean?
The Rubin brothers. They basically, when the husband was going through his stuff and trying to hide from the feds, he was out of money. So he went to them and said, hey, I'll sell you the house. We want to live here for $67,000, and you pay us rent $67,000 a month. Okay, wow. She ain't paid in 5 years. Oh, right. And so they're like, look, you owe us $3.75 million. That's what they're in court on now. They'll decide who owns the house. Then the feds, if she does own it, will come take it from her. She ain't keeping that house.
And that's called a sale leaseback. What happened was they bought it and they leased it back to her.
Okay, got it. But the origin of it all was illegal. So how do they so that would trump, if it was illegal before, does that trump who did buy it correctly and now leasing it back? Attorney Turner?
if the ownership was proper, it could be sold, right? And so that's where it gets into this complicated analysis. I think that this case in particular is a lesson in how a pretty face gets you grace. She is living in a house that she's not paying for, and there's a bunch of less attractive women who are on the street with a tin can trying to sell Tussie Cat for $10, and they have no place to live. So I'm just saying, big ups to Kimora. She's gonna lose the house, but
we are not big up in a thief. We are not gonna big up a thief that's slinging Tussie Cat. Not in my courts. Christine R says, mismanaged my coochie so bad I should sue myself. You know what? Y'all tripping tonight. All right, now let's keep it moving from a mansion where the question is who paid for this to a divorce where the question is who got paid to walk away smiling. This is insane to me. Our second case, everybody. Yep, our second case is Jessica Alba and her $1 billion empire that she made or created, and she was married to Cash Warren. Now, reports say the divorce is finalized, and there's allegedly a multi-million-dollar payout after separation. Now, let's be honest. Celebrity divorces are like hotel lobbies. They're beautiful on the surface, but the real mess is happening in rooms you don't have access to. So this is interesting to me because this is, for the algorithms, the legal snapshot is that the payout is not one thing. It's not one thing. It could be multiple things. It could be lump sum to equalize the property. It could be structured payments. It could be offsetting her business, her company shares, spousal support. It could be all of that wrapped into one. All right, Attorney Carter, you know you are our insider. Break this down. How much did he get, do we know? And how was the payout structured?
We know, and what we know most of all is that Attorney Turner really should have called Alba's lawyers. I mean, because she done pulled the scam of the century, all right? She's worth $350 million. Now, he's not broke. He's worth 50, all right? But if you split the 350 and 50 in half, you get 200 apiece. That's not what he get. He get to keep his measly 50. She gives him the house in Beverly Hills, all right, worth $10 million, and she gave him $3 million. And by the way, not even up front. She gave him a Pookie payment. I'm gonna give you half now, and then next year I'm gonna give you the other half. All right. And so he's locked in this thing for 2 years. All he got out of this whole thing was $8 million. Sounds like a lot, but when your woman's worth $350 million, $8 million of her money ain't a lot of money. All right. And obviously, this is an opposite Tussie Cat case. That Tussie Cat was so bad, he was willing to leave $200 million on the table just to get away from it.
Not the Tussie Cat was so bad he left $200 million. All right, Daniel Cameron said, my mama always said you don't make kids with men without W-2 income. But Kimora hustler from a different part of the game. All right, Shaitan, let's go to you, our resident divorcee. Community versus separate. How does tracing protect someone when fame and business growth happens during the marriage? Because that's when she built that $1 billion company, right?
She did. And this is why Attorney Carter is right. I need Laura Wasser. Laura Wasser, do you do pro bono cases? If you do, I want to call you. Okay. Because California is a community property state, as Attorney Carter mentioned. They married, I think, 16 or 17 years ago. They were young and in love. She was a star on the movie. He was a production assistant, right? Her income skyrocketed. He had more family money because his father's a famous actor. And they were so in love, they had no prenuptial agreement. So in California, he was entitled to half of their accumulated assets while they were together, which would have been the majority of her assets, because she started, and I've always admired her for this, the Honest Company that was designed to provide organic products for infants, and it took off. So Cash Warren, and he's actually a cutie patootie. You know, I could do something with 58 million, but yeah, he's my type. But he decided to do the honorable thing. And so what I think this is a testimony of is how love stories, even if they don't last, can still end with honor, because he got a decent amount of money to continue his life. You know, at 58 million, he's not broke, and it will be fine. And I admire both of them for him honoring her efforts and her getting out with the deal of the century. Laura Walker, create a blog or something. People need you. People need you.
Attorney Weiss, let me ask you this. Do you believe what Attorney Carter says, that the Tootsie Cat was so bad that he was like, I'm out of here? And that's why I can't imagine. I know I wouldn't have walked away. If I could get 100 million, I wouldn't walk away with 50. What say you?
Again, there's probably things that are that obviously aren't in the public eye that we don't know about. Maybe he decided that he has his own family money. Maybe he's going to be inheriting family money. I mean, you got to remember that. The fact is that, you know, he might have a windfall coming. He might only need a certain amount of money for now. She could be paying for everything for the kids because they do share 3 children together. So there's a lot of information we don't know. He doesn't have to move. He's keeping the house. So these are all factors that have a dollar amount tied to them. And he might have said, again, look, I have family money. I have a family trust. She's not touching it. He's not hurting. So, you know, and Attorney Turner, you don't need pro bono, maybe low bono, but not pro bono.
All right. Wait a minute. Do I see another super chat, y'all? Another super chat. There you go. I feel like I need to start stripping for Tamara. You gonna have us in here stripping, Danielle? Cut it out. Danielle says Jessica built that brand with him by her side. So you asked me, he deserves more. I agree, because I remember that. I definitely remember that, because if it were flipped, we'd be upset. Absolutely. Caramel 1977 said, these are rich people problems. On to the next story, Al. She's out here modeling and acting now, but she says she will always be a lawyer. Veppa P says, shaking my damn head, it's California. Colette Davis, our real estate lady, says, I would get what I can, but walking away with my piece is the most important thing. That's true. And I think I want to get back to Christine R, because she asked me, Al, did you and Star split the money? In my situation, I've always been vocal about this. I had a prenup. I didn't want yours was yours, mine was mine. When I was ready to get out, I was ready to go. I didn't want to do no fighting, just let me out. So that's how it worked for me. And then Colette Davis says, yes, Al, take it off. Take it off. Throw some more money in here. I'll take it off. Look, I'm cheap and I'm easy. Wait. Order the court. I didn't say that. All right, lawyers, tell me then, what is the strength of this case? So you think that this is going to be it? This is settled? This is it? He's not going to ask for any more money? Attorney Carter, what say you?
Yeah, they should be fine. As Shaitan mentioned, they really did have a very amicable divorce. They seem to be adults about it. They're doing good co-parenting. The only thing that can mess this up is if Kimora's watching this show, because she knows she's going to want to be on this man because he got a little money still left.
Attorney Turner.
I agree with Attorney Carter, and I think Attorney Weiss made a good point. I imagine that Jessica's probably covering everything for the kids with college and stuff. And so, you know, he got off seemingly cheap, but I think he got off easy too.
All right, Attorney Weiss.
As long as she lives up to the second payment in 2027, no issues, and this is going to go smooth sailing.
So let me ask you guys this: what if something happens to her, and don't want to wish that on her? Will he still get his payment?
Yeah,
Yes.
the estate will honor it. He might actually get it faster, if that were the case.
All right, algoriters. This is the time of the show that I need your help. Please hit that like button. Also, please hit that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, please hit that share button and invite some friends over to enjoy this courtroom right here. As always, don't forget to turn on your notifications because we have a new show day. It's going to be on Monday and Thursdays now, twice a week at 9:30 p.m. And last but not least, keep jumping down in that chat because we love hearing from our algorithms. All right, from a divorce where the law helps you separate to a lawsuit where the law is about to force people to tell the truth under oath. All right, everybody, the third case. This is serious and it's sensitive. All right, reports say Dacoda Jones filed a civil lawsuit seeking $1 million against Rashee Rice following allegations of physical abuse. And here's what people misunderstand. Civil court isn't less serious. All right, let's be very clear. Civil court is where private allegations get turned into public evidence, because discovery is basically a truth extraction machine, right? They have to tell the truth. So for the algoriters, this is civil court. So this is a civil case, not a criminal case. All right, let's go to you, Attorney Carter. Explain to us what's going on here, and how did it end up in civil court, and why is it not criminal, given, she's got all these scratches and all these proof? Why didn't she just go to the police?
And she really might have gone to the police. We don't know. But we do know that, the difference is that if you go to civil court, you can get money. All right. Police, if you send them to jail, that she actually loses money because he's the one paying the bills for the baby. Right. So civil court is where she wants to go. And remember, the difference in the standards is it's easier to win in civil court. Right. Criminal court, you got to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. That's on my mama type of doubt. Right. Gotcha. Civil court is vibes. Like, yeah, I think he probably did it. Right. And so it's an easier case to prove. She can get her money if she's successful, and she just might be.
All right. Shaitan, answer me this, please. When they talk about discovery, what exactly is discovery? And if that's the backbone, what are they looking at? Are they looking at medical records, photos, hospital visits, witness collaboration, text DMs? What are they looking for in discovery?
So all of it. In a civil litigation case, discovery is part of how you prepare your defense, or if you're the plaintiff, your offense, right? And so as part of the process, you can request productions of documents, which you want those kinds of things that you stated. You can request interrogatories, which are statements from the person in writing, and you can request something called request for admission. Those are super powerful too, because if they catch them in a lie, then it's easier to impute responsibility to them in the deposition. And so if well played, sometimes that can make the case go more efficient. But what they're looking for is evidence to support their case that this abuse happened. So if you didn't go to the doctor or the emergency department afterwards, and you have no photographs of getting beat, that can be difficult unless you have an eyewitness, right? If you have a witness who saw you get beat up, then that's super strong, because even if you weren't bruised, that's the evidence. In this case, she has evidence, right? She has these bruises. And so what he's going to have to say is she was clumsy. She tripped and fell and hit her face on a door, or she was playing with the kids, and that's how she got those bruises. But they're not suggestive of that. That looks like someone punched her.
Got it. Okay, Attorney Weiss, let me ask you this. Can she sue civilly, and if she decides, also sue criminally?
Sure. They can run at the exact same time. They run parallel. You can go ahead and you can sue civilly and say, give me my money. And you go ahead and you go to the state, and you tell the state what happened, and the state would make the decision to bring the charges or not. Again, you can't sue criminally, but you can go to the state, and they can be your advocate, and they can stand in your shoes, and they can bring the charges. The reason why she probably is not suing criminally is what Attorney Carter said, which is it's easier on the civil side. And also, if he's in jail or he's there, you're not getting anything. So she's better off, if she really just wants to be made whole financially, to go ahead and sue civilly. But to all the algoriters, you can't say, if you don't pay me, I am going to the police and I am going to bring up charges. That is called extortion. So either go to the police and file your report, or don't. But don't say, if you don't pay me in my civil suit, the $1 million I'm suing you for, I'm going to the police and I'm going to have your butt thrown in jail. Extortion, and you're opening yourself up to criminal liability.
All right, that's interesting. All right. Daniel Cameron, what is going on? Daniel Cameron, thank you so much for another super chat. Daniel Cameron, you better keep coming back. Hold on, let me get up and do a little jig. Wait, oh no, we got another super chat. Pisces Unicorn. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the super chat. And Pisces Unicorn says, Al, I appreciate the statement you made at the beginning of the show. Thank you. Also, shout out to you, Jason. It's our time. Pisces season is here. All right, Pisces Unicorn. All right, y'all, meet me in the private chat. I got y'all. I ain't got no shame. I promise you. Rent is due in a couple of days, and the month of February is short. It's right around the corner. All right, Deaf God 1411 says notifications. Oh no, what happened? Sandra McGee says she waited until she stepped out with his new girlfriend. Then she filed this case, not saying he didn't do it. That's interesting. Colette Davis says yes, she can see both. She can sue both civil and criminal. Jenna Lee, am I saying that right? Thank you for saying that, Attorney Weiss. Never knew that you could do both at the same time. I didn't either. That's so interesting because I remember talking on this show before that civil can give you evidence for criminal, right? Because you're under oath still. So that's wow. That's really wow. Christine R says, Al, did you fire the bailiff? The old bailiff is gone, but we got a new bailiff, but have some patience with our new bailiff. And we got one in training as well. Essie Stone said, we want you to strip. Okay, I got you. Throw some more super chat up in there. Christine R said, Al does not mismanage his twerks. And JP Mills says, Al, you got to do more than jiggle for those super chats. Yeah, you're right. I've done more for less. Let me be quiet. Okay, attorneys, really quickly, what's the strength of this case? Do we have, is she in a good place with him? Is it not looking good for him? What do you think, Attorney Carter?
There's one wrinkle we haven't mentioned here, and that is the fact that she signed a statement in October that said he didn't hit me. Oh. Now, she signed that a few days before he's going to get reinstated by the NFL. So it's entirely possible that he basically went to her and said, hey, girl, we're going to lose all this money. You need to have a statement. And I guess her lawyers are going to say, all right, the statement says he didn't hit me, but he did strangle me and throw me down the stairs. So they're going to try to pretend like, that isn't a good admission, but it's going to be hard because basically the jury's going to ask, were you lying then or are you lying now?
Right. So what number will you give it?
I give it. She's going to get a settlement even before this because he doesn't want to have to, testify in court and have the NFL decide to take away his money.
All right, Attorney Carter, what say you? What strength do you think she has in this case?
High probability for the settlement, as Attorney Carter said. I give that like a 9.85. They have a kid together. He wants her to be quiet. He's going to give her some money. She won't say the quid pro quo, like Attorney Weiss said, but she won't have to.
Okay, Attorney Weiss?
The likelihood of settlement is a 10. And that is because if it does go the criminal route or anything else, the NFL is going to get involved even more than it will. The NFL will probably give him a short suspension, maybe 3 to 4 games based on what's going on. Criminal charges.
That's more lost money.
Got problems.
All right. We got another super chat, everybody. It's time for me to take it off. Guitar Diva, RBA. Hold on, I got your baby. some things for this change, y'all. Doing something strange for a little bit of change. You're right. I sure will do something strange for a little bit of change. Thank you so much. Guitar Diva RBA. Nisha Phillips says, I sure needed these laughs tonight. Appreciate each one of you. Me too. Honestly, good thing I'm not drinking. All right, now from the civil court, where money damages are the weapon, to criminal court. Now, this story is just devastating. I can't believe I'm ending with this, but hopefully we'll find a silver lining here, where the court has already said no bond. Our last case, this is a high-stakes criminal matter. All right, the headline alleges that former NFL player Darron Lee was arrested for allegedly killing his girlfriend and was denied bond after testimony described extensive blood evidence throughout the entire home. And let me say this carefully. No bond is not a conviction, but it is a judge saying, I'm not comfortable letting you out while we build this case because someone is unalived. All right, algoritmers, be sure you're the jury now. This is a whole bunch of stuff going on. We got public safety, we got flight risk, we have seriousness of alleged offenses and the strength and all of that. We got forensics, we got blood in multiple rooms, we got scene reconstruction, DNA, chain of custody. Attorney Carter, tell us what's going on here. What happened and how did we end up here?
So the police and fire come out because there's been a call that CPR is in progress. They get there and they find this woman unalived, and they get suspicious because he says, "Hey, she fell in the shower." They're like, "Well, what'd she fall on? There's puncture wounds here. Right? What's in your shower? And why was she running all over the house? Because you got blood everywhere, and we see your cleaning supplies. You've been trying to clean this up, and because he's a man, he didn't clean up well. You know how that works, right? So he done left smudges everywhere." And they're like, "You got to go to jail." So he goes to jail. They have the bail hearing, and in Tennessee, the standard is we're not going to let you. We'll let you out unless there's evident proof, or the presumption is pretty great that you did this. And the judge just basically looked at all this stuff and said, "Bruh, you did it. All right, we're not letting you out because you're not coming back because you know you did it. All right." And so he's going to stay in jail until they have trial. And good luck, bro, because you're not getting out again.
All right, Attorney Turner, let me ask you this. If you were representing him, what would be your defense?
He's complicated his defense by telling this terrible made-up story to begin with. So the first thing I would say is he was distraught. He had never been in this situation before, and that's why he told you this wacky story. In truth, he was scared. He thought that the facts would make it appear that he did it. And even though he was innocent, he didn't think you would believe him. So he got some bleach and a washcloth and started to clean up all of this stuff before you got here, because he just thought he was a black man who was going to be profiled for killing this girl. I mean, I'd try to sell it.
Oh, I don't know about that. I
don't need. I'd call Attorney Ross. That's what I would do.
I call Brian.
Brian.
Attorney Ross, tell me, is there any way that he? And I'm not trying to help him get off, but wouldn't you want him to plead mental insanity somehow? Like he had a mental break.
I mean, he could say he had a mental break. But what caused the mental break, right? Did she hit him first? Did she say, "I'm leaving you"? Did she point a gun at him? Was there something? But I mean, otherwise, the mental break seems to have come after she was unalive. So I mean, that's going to be real difficult. But I mean, not PTSD, but maybe concussions having to do with what was going on in the NFL. I mean, this is not looking good for him. I know we need to hear more and see more, but as we stand right here, I don't even think Brian Ross could win this one.
Okay, really quickly, everybody, please make sure you watch your clocks, counselors. Watch your clocks in your chats, counselor. But guess what? We got more super chat. We got another super chat from Caramel 1977. Hey, let me lift this robe up now. I tell you, I do something strange for a bit of change. Y'all, I'll find out tonight. Okay, really quickly because we're running out of time. All right, give me a 1 to 10, Counselor Carter. How bad does this look that he's not going to get out of prison and going to be there for a long time? What say you?
Yeah, I mean, maybe I guess the best case scenario, he is there for a long time. Tennessee has death penalty.
All right, I need a number.
So he might be there for a shorter period of time.
Watch your chat. Attorney Carter, Turner, and Weiss, be sure to watch your chat. We're running out of time. Give me a number, please.
1.
Okay.
Or it's guilty 9.
9. Okay, Attorney Turner.
9.5.
All right, Attorney Weiss.
8.5.
All right. Oh, this is really sad. All right, everybody. This is a part of the show where we go to you, the jury, to help us decide who's guilty or not guilty. First up, we have, let me see. First up, who do we have? First case is Kimora Lee Simmons. Be ready to jump in the chat, everybody. Is Kimora Lee Simmons guilty or not guilty of staying in a stolen, fraudulent home? Is she guilty or not guilty of staying? Guilty. Brenda says guilty. Tanya McNeil says guilty. Brenda K says guilty. Deaf God. Lathea Robinson, Essie on. We're going to find Kimora Lee Simmons guilty. Guilty of squatting. Next up, Jessica Alba and Cash Warren. Is Jessica Alba guilty of not giving Cash Warren all his money, or not guilty? He got what he deserved. Is Jessica Alba guilty or not guilty for not paying that man everything that he deserves? Is Jessica Alba guilty or not guilty for paying that man what he deserves? All right. High Maintenance says Jessica is guilty. RQM says guilty. Lathea says not guilty. High Maintenance says not guilty. Vespa says guilty, and Syrup says not guilty. We're going to find Jessica Alba not guilty as charged. Next up is Rashee Rice guilty or not guilty of beating up his girlfriend? Dacoda Jones, is he guilty or not guilty? Is Rashee Rice guilty or not guilty for beating up his girlfriend? Gina Lee says guilty. Pisces Unicorn says guilty. Editor says he's guilty. 3 guilties. We're going to find him guilty. Rashee Rice, you've been found guilty in Celebrity Court of Public Opinion. And last but not least, I think we know what this is. Is Darron Lee guilty or not guilty for unaliving that girlfriend? Is he guilty or not guilty for unaliving that girlfriend? Honey Loveums says guilty. Val Rice says guilty. Lathea Robinson says guilty. We're going to find Darron Lee. You are guilty. You are guilty in the court of public opinion. All right, everybody. Tonight, this is something that we learned, something simple. A mansion isn't just a mansion when the money trail is alleged to be dirty. Come on, you're riding dirty and sleeping dirty too. That's real estate that has become receipts. A clean divorce usually means that the mess got really ugly privately and so bad that he didn't take all he deserves to get out of it. All right. Last, the civil abuse case. The loudest voice isn't the social media. It obviously was the discovery. And in murder court, no bond is the court saying risk outweighs the release, period. That means he is probably guilty is charged. All right, in real court, innocent until proven guilty. In this court, though, we go off of our jury's opinion and the public opinion. All right, because the culture deserves to be heard first. I'm Judge Al Reynolds. This is Celebrity Court of Public Opinion. Be sure to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, be sure to hit that share button and invite some folks over here. As always, turn on your notifications because we have a new day, which is now Mondays and Thursdays, still at the same time, though, at 9:30. And as always, we love it when you're in the chat. And in fact, drop down in the chat right now some cases that you've heard about that maybe you want us to do in this show. As always, we love you, algoritmers. And tonight, you guys really showed a level of love that I can't tell you how much it has warmed my heart. Thank you for allowing me to do this platform. Thank you for supporting me, all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And thank you. Have a good night.